So let's get started. Sorry, I was late for the bus. And I guess some of you told me that I should shorten the break for 5 minutes so that we can end the class 5 minutes earlier. Then I can catch the bus easier. So is that okay? I mean, I will see how it responds in the mid-class break. And then you reply, you tell me whether you're okay with that. Okay? Because to me, the same, right? Because the class time is the same. So we just shorten the break to 10 minutes, then we can have 5 minutes earlier so that I can take the bus easier. But in any case, today our goal is not very ambitious. So just review what we've done, and then we'll go to Excel. So probably work out and thing, and then if you have phone, take out your phone with that, because you can work with the phone with the Excel or the Google Sheet. Either way we do, or any spreadsheet software will work. Okay. As I said, the class time limit, we can't cover R or Python, unfortunate. But I have the data cam. I mean, you can go there and then learn by yourself. Okay. So let's quickly review what we've done. I mean, I just briefly mentioned the main thing we cover, right? Just take a 5-minute overview. So that's where I think this slide is one of the most important one, right? Because it tells you the 3 types of measure. You're given one type of measurement, right? So you have a mean, median, mode as a measure, okay? And mean is adding all up divided by total number of them. Median is exactly middle guy, right? If you have odd number of observation, the middle guy is exactly middle guy. If even number, the middle two, that's you don't find average of the two, right? Mode is the most frequent one, okay? This you know. And this person, you have 5 measure, right? You have range, which is biggest minus smallest. Interquartile range is a Q3 minus Q1, and Q3 the third quartile. Third quartile is defined as 3/4 of the n+1 data. And we do the weight method 3 in linear interpolation, right? And Q1 the same, okay? So you always use method 3 when you do the assignment, because you will be exactly the same as with Excel, okay? So usually you don't really worry about how to calculate that, because Excel will give you. You don't really worry about the formula, but you have to understand how the formula works, right? You don't exactly need to put your hand there, but Excel will do everything for you, right? So I can't see in your assignment how you figure out whether you use computer or use your hand. So as long as you get correct the right answer, then it'll be fine, right? I don't really know it. And other than that, we have 3 measure, important measure, right? We have variance, standard deviation, and coefficient variation, right? What's the meaning of variance? Variance is, maybe I go to the slide, right? This 3, right? Variance, where it's defined as the distance from the mean, you square it, add them all up the other end, or the average square distance, right? You calculate square distance, right? Find the mean of this square distance. Standard deviation will be the square root of the variance, right? Why? Because make the unit the same, right? And you divide SD by the mean will be the coefficient variation. And why you care about CV? Because you want to compare a data set. Right? Just to remind you again, right? If the data is large, variance will be larger, right? Suppose you measure things by centimeter, and as compared to the case compared by meters, right? Meters, the variance is smaller. Centimeter, the variance is larger, right? But they're larger because the unit is different. So that's why when you do it by CV, then the same thing. So it doesn't affect by measurement unit. You can compare across data sets. So these are the reason that why I use it. And remind yourself that the variance and standard deviation, that there are 2 different types. One's a population type, one's a sample type. Population type is the thing that we actually the measure that makes sense. Sample is the one that we use to estimate. Later you will see in the topic 4 or 5, you give you the idea why we need a sample, because that will be used for estimation. But in some of the data, you use the population one, okay? And then we talk about 2 different shape measurement. It's called the skewness and kurtosis. Just to remind you, skewness is how data is whether even, right? If at the center is skew 0, positive is skewed on this side, and negative is on that side, right? And kurtosis is fat, is looking at the tails, right? If normal compared to bell, which we will define later, the bell is 3, right? So that's why excess to 0 is same as a bell. If it's much fatter, you will call the fat tail, much lower the thin tail, right? The kurtosis is the size of the tail, right? So, so that would be the idea. And then the last one we last time talked about is the how do we study observation? We have 2-dimensional measurement, right? So far we focus on 1 dimension. This every observation you see the same thing, right? But now suppose for every observation you have 2 different type of measurement, right? For the same guy, you see his income and education. You try to see that's cause and effect, right? Is it whether you have more income because of more education? And I emphasized last time, to study cause and effect require you a graduate degree, right? For undergrad, we don't do it unless you go to a very advanced class or graduate degree. In B school, I don't think anyone would teach that. But at least we can show how they move together. They call co-movement or covariance, right? Correlation, right? It's not causality, okay? And the most basic thing about correlation or relation is called the linear relation. And it's measured by 2 measurements. They're closely related. It's called covariance and correlation coefficient. Covariance, maybe let's see the formula because I think it's new to everyone, unless you studied before. This is the one that the formula is very similar to variance, right? If y and x are the same, this is just the variance formula, right? But we replace it by y. We'll look at the graph again because some of you asked me after the class last time. I mean, how do we do that, right? And every observation, here is x and y, right? And the horizontal dashed line is the x bar. Vertical horizontal dashed bar is the y bar. It's the mean average of y, right? And that means that for every observation that's on the right-hand side of x bar is bigger than the mean, left-hand side less than the mean of x. Above the horizontal line is above the mean of y, and below is below the mean of y. So that means that if you are on the upper right region, which represents the red here, you have x above the x bar, y above y bar. Why? Because x is on the right-hand side of x bar. Y is above the y bar horizontal line. Okay. In that case, covariance is the product of the distance, and this distance are positive. Positive times positive, positive. Okay. And similarly, in the bottom left corner, you have the blue one, which is also 2 negative, right? Because xi is on the left side of the x bar, which gives negative quantity, and this below is negative. This time, this is positive, okay? So whenever you have these regions, upper right and the bottom left are all positive. On the contrary, the other 2 regions will be negative. Why? Look again at the right dot there, right? The red dot there. The red dot there, for x is less than the mean of x. So this one gives you a negative quantity, xi minus x bar. But for the yi minus y bar is positive. So not negative times positive, you know negative. Similarly, when the blue dot here, x is above x bar, that's positive. But this quantity yi minus y bar is negative. Okay, so the product of them will be a negative number. So at the end of the day, we add up all the observations. So the more likely that the data are on the positive side, then will be positive related, right? Because they're all above. When x is above the mean, y is more likely above the mean. And when x is below and then below, right? They move in the same direction. They are more like, say, same movement, right? On the other hand, the negative, they're not in the same one. So graphically, you will see something like this, right? This is on the line, positive, 0, negative, negative, right? And because covariance is affected by the scale of the measurement, right? Because x and y usually measure in different dimensions, right? X can be height, y can be weight, or in the case we have x is the education number of education year, y can be income, right? So that can be affected by how you measure, right? Maybe depend on how you measure the height. Sorry, because the education is by years, by days, right? Or the income is measured by annual income, monthly income, so on and so forth. So very often than not, we don't interested in covariance itself, but rather we're interested in the scale, the measure we call correlation coefficient, which is derived by dividing them by the standard deviation of x and y. So you divide them. The good thing is there's no unit, right? Then you can easily compare across different data sets. And also, it's because of it always between -1 to 1, and 1 and -1 has a particular meaning, right? 1 is all 4 on the line. -1 is all 4 on the negative line. Okay, so that's the graph like this, right? Positive one like this, negative one look like this one, right? So that is very graphical, and usually correlation coefficient is more than 0.6. You say it's strong enough, right? If below 0.6, usually you don't say anything, right? And then less than -0.6, you say a little bit strong, right? Of course, 0.8 is semi-strong, is good enough to say anything, right? I mean, if that's 0.5 or 0.3, 0.4, probably it's too weak to be too useful for your purpose. But it's better judgment, right? It's art, not the science, but you can say, right? So I guess that would be done with the theory part. Just make sure that at home you try to figure them out, how to do calculation. It shouldn't be an issue, but we'll give assignment later when things are done, and then you'll be done. Usually our assignment will be after every 2 topics with one assignment. I mean, in total with 5 assignments. But I guess some of you will still worry how to prepare for exam, or then we will give you a multiple choice questions. You can do it for your free time. Once you do it, they'll give you the answer. It's no credit for that. You can do it at your own pace. No one record whether you do it or not. But if you want to do it, you can do it. And answer is there, and then if you have a question, you can ask TA. But the answer is given. Some explanation is given as well. Okay. But as I said, I mean, this class is rather standard, so any textbook would work anyway. Okay. Any textbook you can pick up. Any textbook they have end of chapter exercise, then you can work out those. I mean, or the standard textbook we have. Okay. So for the sake of time, let's go to Excel. Okay, please take out your Excel and then work it out. You'll get your hand dirty here. Unfortunately, we have to work out. I mean, if you don't work out, there's no point of doing that, right? Because who is going to use paper and pencil these days, right? Except for kindergarten or primary school, right? Everyone use computer, right? You have your phone, it's fine. If you don't have computer, it's fine. Take out your phone or iPad, it will work anyway. Okay, you would have a Microsoft Office install or Office 316 or the Google spreadsheet should work. Okay. So as I said, I will assume zero knowledge for Excel, so I start from the very beginning. Okay. Bear with me if you know everything already. If you know everything, just go to buy coffee and come back after break. You will learn more. But otherwise, just bear with me. Okay. Or you can silently watch the YouTube. I don't care. But make sure that you come back the time that something is important. Okay. So first is we will show you how to use Excel as calculator. Since I said we start with scratch, we start with the very beginning. So to open your Excel or any spreadsheet program that you like, what I do is Excel. I just open it like this. I open a brand workbook here. So this is the spreadsheet we're doing. In case you never use it, if you can see a bunch of the white square or red rectangle, this is where you will add on, work on those. Okay. So I will, for the sake of illustration, I'll make it bigger. Okay. So how we're going to do is we start with some calculation. Okay, as a calculator first. Okay, that's what you do when you don't have calculator at your working desk. That's what I do usually. Open Excel and try to work out. So what you do is try to double click the first cell or whatever cell you like. Try to type in the formula. Just double click A1. Okay, and now write equal. Okay, and we start with the thing you learn in the primary school or even kindergarten. What's 1 plus 1? Right, just 1 plus 1. So 1 plus 1. And then after that, you click the enter, then the answer gives it to you. Okay. So this is the 2. Okay. To illustrate, I will use a function. Later I will define what it is, but our formula test will give you the formula there. Okay. And then let's do, besides adding, I do subtracting. 3 minus 2. Okay. It's 1. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. 3 minus 2. And maybe 2 times 4. Okay. and then 9 divided by 3. Okay, so 4 basic operations are there. Okay, so do I introduce any other new thing there? Let me check. Okay, oh, I also have the raised to the power, so let's do that. So let's this 2 raised to the power of 3. Okay, it's 8. It's 2 times 2 times 2. So exponent is there. Okay, I just walk around to see if any question, because make sure that you're all right. I mean, it's okay. You are talking to a friend, watching the video. I don't really care. But if you don't know, ask me. Okay, is that okay? Make sure that you get it all right. Because of very basic, right? If you just try to make sure that you are on the same spot, it's pretty easy. It's very easy, I'm sure. But just make sure everyone set up the right thing. If your favorite spreadsheet program is there, if any question, just ask me. Okay, we'll go pretty fast from there now. Is that okay? Everyone's all right? Good, all good. Then we go to the next one. Now this is the one that you will see. This is the answer, but different what I do. I mean, you can do whatever you like. Okay. Next, we'll introduce something we call the basic math function, which are the thing that we usually often use for the rest of semester as well. It's take a square root exponent. Okay, exponent you can use the one I have is the upper cap there, but the exact formula will be the e exponential. Okay, you will see that later very soon. E is just 2.718. Okay, if you learn calculus, you know what it is, but if you don't know it, it's fine. It's a natural log idea, but it's if you learn finance, it's called continuous compounding. There will be something like that, but we are not going that far at the moment. But just let you know, there's a 2 operation called square root, taking square root, right? And then we'll look at the net exponential. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do the math function here. Maybe I just insert there. If you don't write the equal sign, they will give the text. So I use calculator here. Okay, I can do that. Okay, and usually I would maybe I yellow that part. Okay, or sometimes if you like, you can do a merge and center. Then it's a nice one. Okay, and then we have the math function. Math function in Excel now these days you will always have capital letter. Okay, always capital letter. And if you write a small letter, they will correct you. Okay, SQRT. Okay, maybe 9. Okay, math function. Okay, and let me center it and let me highlight a little bit. Okay. And then I have exponential 3. Okay, you can try that out. If you get it right, then it's fine. Okay, and these are the functions that we'll be using later. Okay, not in this chapter, but later. But square root, you know, we will take it because we take a square root of the variance, give you a standard deviation. Right? That's the square root there. Exponential, you need that when we talk about chapter 3 with the Poisson distribution. You talk about you will have exponents. Is that okay? And of course, so some of you want to have more function. All right, beside this function, right? The more important function for statistics is count and sum, right? Because when you divide sum, it's adding all up, divided by the count will give you average. All right, so there's a basic function. And to calculate things, right, you close by bracket the function, right? And input the number will be a curly bracket, and each observation separated by a comma. Okay, some of you will tell me that you would not need a bracket, but if you calculate correlation, you need bracket to distinguish this as X, this is a Y. Otherwise, I don't know which one. So this is the formal way to write in Excel. Okay, let's do it, the count and the sum. So count means how many numbers in the observation. So let's do it. Count, bracket here, let's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, close bracket here. Okay. And then I have sum, means add them all up. I have 1 plus 2, oh, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So if you try to input the observation in Excel, use the bracket, curly bracket. Okay. Of course, some of you tell if you don't have per bracket, it still work. That's no problem. You can still work there. But that will be more clear. This is observation, right? Otherwise, if you learn computer science, then they will get confused with different argument. Okay. That is the standard way to write. Is that okay? If any question, just feel free to ask me. This class is more hand-on things and more tutorial, so it's free to ask me if you have any question. Okay. And now we have another two questions. So two functions. It's called run down and run up, which essentially give us the floor function or the ceiling function. Run up and run down, as you can see, run down means kick out all the decimal places, right? Run up means all the decimal places, unless it's 0, add 1 more than that, right? So 3.1 give you 3, 3.9 give you 3, but run up is 3.1 give you 4, 3.9 give you 4, but 4.01 give you 5. Okay, let me show you. And this last digit actually tells you what is the decimal places you want to round up. For 0, round up to integer, right? If you want, then you round up to the first decimal places. Okay. So let me show you round up, round down. I think that would be very simple. Round down, maybe 3.1. Okay. Oh, sorry. I forgot to write 0 here. Okay. We'll give you 3. Okay. And I round down 3.91 give you, oh, sorry, 0. Okay, give you 3. If I round up 3.110 to give you 4. If I round up 3.90, you give you 4. Okay, I hope this is clear what they are. There's a math function that we'll be using if you want to construct things by yourself, right? Because that's how you construct the median, right? If you're able to smartly write the formula there. Okay, just illustrate how you do it. And those of you who want more math function, you can do it here by insert formulas, and there's a more function math function with more math function here. Okay, there's all function goes on here. There are more, but I'm not going to, because we don't need that much. Okay, that's so much. Let me save this file in case it cracks down. What day is today? 11 September 2004. Okay, I'll upload this file. If the computer not crash, I'll upload it to the platform. Okay, so that you can take a look when you're fine. Now, the next thing I want to talk is the sum stack function. Okay, this is why we're here. Okay, the stack function we look at is rather simple. Average the mean. Geometric mean, as I said, is just product of then square root of number of size of that. Harmonic mean is just run over, multiply together and add it together. But we just need the first one, average. Okay, let's show you the average. Okay, so mean is this guy. Okay, mean will be just average. Okay, and then the data we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, say, right? More interesting. Okay, there we 5. Okay, so you can see the outlier changed a lot, right? So you can see also very quickly, I mean, you don't really need to remember the formula when you Excel, and you have to handle Excel, right? But unfortunately, in our do remind you that Excel will be part of the exam. Okay. Of course, I'll not ask you how to operate that, but I'll ask you what's the function to calculate this, and then you have to write down this Excel input is part of the assessment. Okay, you expect it. You should know how to write it, but of course, assignment will ask you anyway, and you expect a similar thing might appear in exam. Okay. So the geometric mean, harmonic mean, I'm not going to cover because it's just an extension anyway. I just put there in case you want to care. Okay. Unfortunately, the weighted mean is not there, and it's commonly used. Okay, so that's why I want to put it there, because you want to calculate GPA, right? Then you want to do that. Let me illustrate that here. There's a function called sum, which you know very well, right? And sum product is you input two series, you multiply each entry cross together, add together. That's why sum of the product. Okay, let me illustrate that to you. Okay, so sum product means it's 1 times 6 plus 2 times 3 plus 3 times 2 plus 4 times 3 plus 5 times 2. All right. So then divided by sum, there's the formula, right? If you still recall, this is exactly the calculation here. This is the one, right? I have 5 observations. The weights are not the same, right? Then you can calculate them up, okay? And you often want to calculate GPA. This is how you get it, right? For the 5, you've taken 5 different classes, and this is with the credit there, and then you just add up. Okay. Now I'm not going to show you. You can try it yourself, because the extension part. So I just happily skip that part. Okay. And next is median, which you're happy, because this is you don't need to scratch your head to calculate number of observation. So median would be just median with the observation, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 median is 3. 1 to 6 is 4, and 5 average. Okay. Let me show you here to make sure that you get it. So we have median, okay, and you put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and this gives you 3. And if you have median, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should give you 3.5. Okay, so make sure that you get what we're doing here. Okay, this is the median. Maybe I move a little bit to the other side, so you see, you're able to see clearly what's going down there. Let me use another color, maybe a little bit here, I center it. Okay, so that would be the thing. Okay, hopefully you get how to do it. Median and so far we learned the median and average. Okay, and you can see we have to type in the data, right? And it will not be very convenient, and also not very transparent, right? Because you can't see the data, right? Because you don't really know, you enter things wrongly. So what is the use of spreadsheet is a strong point of Excel is to demonstrate data and your calculation on the same page. That is a strong point of Excel. When you have a small data set, Excel is the best. That's why for back office calculation, Excel is something you use, right? But when your large data set, Excel is not going to be efficient, because when you have complex data, the intermingle of the program and the data, which is too ugly to check, and we have a lot of calculation, it's not easy to check, right? That's why you have to rely on Python and R. But for our application class, we're using small data set, that's fine. So Excel will be fit the job, okay? And for the usually business application, maybe you only have small scale data, maybe 300 to 400 observation, that Excel would fit the job, right? Don't overkill, right? When you can use Excel, can do the job, then you don't use R or Python, right? But when you have to use Python out, then you are talking about big data set. Okay. So why we are doing that is we want to what we call the cell reference. So instead of typing the data, we type in the data in the Excel first, and then show you how to do that. So let's do it. Okay. So another good thing of another good or maybe bad is for Excel is you can more than it's a spreadsheet, so you can have another spreadsheet. Okay, so that's how what I do is I open up a spreadsheet. Okay, and this spreadsheet when I double click it, I call it function. Okay. And this spreadsheet I will call cell reference, which I would go over how to do cell referencing. Okay, let me enlarge it. Okay, for cell referencing means that I separate the data, okay, from a formula, and how I do that is I input the data into the Excel. Okay, what I do is say X or the data, okay, in the horizontal vertical column. Say maybe I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. See? Okay, this is my data, and usually I would put it some color to make sure that I don't misread it, or even I would use the border, thick border, to make sure that I don't mess up with that. Okay, this data. Okay. Now I want to calculate, say, average, mean, and median, right? So suppose I want to calculate mean, maybe mean, right, and median. Okay, this data. Maybe I move it in this way. Okay, I move central tendency. Okay. So mean will be just average. Okay. The thing is that instead of typing the data directly, you put in the cell reference. Okay. By cell reference means just that instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you tell them the data. Where's the data? And because the data usually you put it on the series. Okay. Instead of putting 1 there, okay, you can just type A1 and or A2 here, which is column A, row 2, right? And because of instead of every single thing, I will use a colon to tell me that from A2 to A7, you can see the blue one is I highlighted Excel conveniently, telling you that you input the data there. Excel will look, what it do is look at A2 to A7, look at data, put a bracket there. That's exactly what Excel is doing. So that's why you don't need the bracket there. So you close the bracket there, then this will be done. Okay, so let me show you the formula. Okay, so this is the thing. The median, then I just median. And instead of typing, okay, you can use your keyboard, if you use computer, to move your cell around, okay, and you can press shift and go down. Okay, that's how you do it. Or if you're a mouse person, you can do that. Click and drag. Okay, as I said, they are very basic, but just want to make sure everyone knows it. Okay, so this is the median. So that's how you utilize your Excel. Why this is good? Why use cell reference? Because when you change the data, then you're done. Say what I mean is, suppose I do this instead of 16, then everything is updated automatically, right? So that is a good thing about separation of data and the program, right? I mean, in some sense, the column B and C are the program that you written, right? So you're writing a small program already, okay? Although it's not explicit, but it's a small program. So go home today if you haven't done so. In a CV column, you have Excel programming, right? You do something, right? Excel. The program makes Excel, right? I used to teach B.B.A in the class, but I mean, you soon become obsolete because R actually will be incorporated in it. We replace B.B.A, so I will skip because what is the use of learning something going to obsolete in 3 to 4 years? So I just skip, just focus on Excel. Okay, but this is the median. Now the next is of course, is mole. Okay. Mole is slightly more complicated in Excel. The reason is being one thing. Excel function usually can only output one number. Okay. Standard one. In the old case, basically, if you look at the Excel 10 years ago, they only allow single output. Okay. If you have to have double output, then it will be called array function. Okay. Array function, you have to be exact, you have to press Shift Control before you output. Okay, you call Shift Control Enter, then you output more than one output. They call array function. But in your class, I don't want to make you deal with the array function. So we focus on mode.single. Okay. And that is the old 10 years ago. But you can do .multi, it's more than one mode. But you have to press Control Shift Enter. I don't know how to do it in the iPad. But this array function, ARRAY array, is more than one output. But in a class, we focus on one. Okay. So in this case, as I said, in some Excel, if everything is there, you get nothing. Okay. One of the reasons why they do that, as I said, is because Excel only output single output. So that's why they would just forget about it. Okay. And if you have 1, 2, 2, 3, you give you 2. Okay. So let me show you that. Let me go back to here. Okay. So multi is the more than one, but I'm not going to talk about that. Mode, say 1, 2, 3, will be empty, right? Because there's no mode there. If you have mode single, okay, 1, 2, 2, 3, okay, that will give you 2. So some of you may actually ask and actually to try, what happens if this happens? Let's guess what you give, what you have. Okay, from the class, you know this should give you 2 and 3, right? But as I told you, Excel only give you 1. So Excel should give you the smallest, should give you 2, if I remember correctly. So although it should be 2 and 3, but they don't give. Okay. So if you really want to do that, you would have to do the you have to do the, you highlight the 2 cell, you have to do the following operation. So you have to do Shift Control to do this operation. You have to highlight the 2 cells you want to output and press Shift Control to output it. But this is way beyond the scope in our class. But I always tell you that it's possible to do it in Excel, but it's too difficult for if you learn the first time. If you really want to do it, go to YouTube. They will tell you in detail how this out of the scope. So let me put a gray color to it so that you don't really feel bad if you don't know how to do it, because it's beyond the scope of our class. Okay, that would be something that. Okay, so we know the mean, median, and mode. Okay, is that okay? So now let me do this one with a break. Okay, let me go to range. Okay, range is the largest minus smallest, and unfortunately, Excel doesn't give you a function that exactly that. But Excel is very convenient. You find the maximum by the max, minimum by the mean. So max minus mean, then you're done, right? So let's do the example here. Okay. Mode. I should have done that. Mode will be, in this case, is mode single. Highlight that. Okay. And since I don't have the answer here, let me change the data. Okay. Nice one. And I have this person. Did I spell correctly? Yeah. This person, range. Okay. range will be max minus mean, okay? So there are two ways to do it. You can find the max, you can find a mean, but I prefer to do it one single way, just max, okay? And the whole data minus mean, the whole data. And that gives you this guy. So this max minus mean. Is that okay? After the break, we'll do IQR. Okay, I'll do the U reply. Let me do 10 minutes break. You can tell me whether 10 minutes break is good or not. I open the U reply in case you want to comment on whether you want a 10 minutes break or you actually want to keep the 15 minutes break. Again, just anonymous feedback. So feel free to do it or not doing it. I mean, I'm not too worried about it. But in case I walk around in this 10 minutes time, if you have a question, please feel free to ask me because it's hand-on tutorial. If you think you're good, you can go there and get a coffee and have an early lunch. It's fine. Because I assume zero knowledge on Excel. Okay, so if you have a question, please feel free to ask. I'm going around. If you have a question, you can ask me. Or today is a little bit cloudy, so it's good time to sleep. If you want to. Is that okay? Oh, okay, okay. 我唔知點樣用 Shift Control Enter，你可以自己諗下。I don't know how to do that.
我唔記得下次就問啦。你如果唔係，你就問 T A 咯，T A 好容易答你嘅。佢email just email. Try to see. Can.
Are you still alive? But it's very easy, don't worry. If you miss anything, just watch the video later or ask your friends or TA, they will help you. It's a bit easy. So I guess the break is closing to end, but let's quickly go over the result and see what happened. Yes, the guy who invents Excel is genius. Yes, I do agree because just I can remind myself. I mean, I think 10 years ago, I was an undergraduate like you, and then I go to intern in an insurance company because of actuarial science. And I thought actuarial science people use a very complicated software. They do, but I mean, at that time, still people do Excel. I mean, heavily do Excel. I mean, they have specialized software and also mainframe computing. But at that time, I still do Excel. And surprisingly, people at that time, those guys actually they're very good at Excel, very quick. They do all the shortcut. They never use mouse. I never see they use mouse at all. I mean, even the people use the laptop. They use the Red Dot, the IBM ThinkPad one. They never use the mouse at all. But they're so fast typing. I mean, I'm really amazed at that. And the Excel skill, they're so fast and so quick. But I guess that would be excellent. So 10 minutes break is good enough. So if everyone say okay, then probably I would just I will do 5 minutes earlier. We relax. So maybe we end today 12:10. So try to make some notes for this chapter. Yes. Feel free to do it. Participation, as I said, is not my class. It's not attendance, right? If you have to attend by Zoom, then just email me. You have to valid reason, and then usually approve. Because of the requirement school, I mean, you cannot automatically attend the class by Zoom. You have to say email is okay, that's okay. Okay. So I don't take attendance because I think it's very time consuming and I cannot defeat the thought. So the thing is, I rely on you to report your classmate, right? If they are not attending, just report to me, right? Just like the Social Security law, right? You report national security. You report who is suspicious, right? Especially they disappear for long time, then probably we will send regard to those people who actually consecutively missing the class, right? Because we don't really take attendance directly because no problem because everyone can just send the QR code to your friend. I can't really detect that. I mean, in the past, we know that. I mean, there are some people do that. Okay, so unless we pay the money to get you the card, the smart card system, but still you can use other people's smart card. So it's very hard to detect that. So rely on you to look for your classmate who used to sit next to you and doesn't appear. Okay. But of course, I mean, it's for your own good, right? Attending the class is usually better. I mean, of course, you may think my class is very slow. Maybe sometimes you think it's too easy for you, you want to skip. But I used to think that is fine. But now these days, I study a lot of behavior economics or psychology. Actually, turn out that having a habit of attending actually or listening subconsciously actually helps. Okay. And though that's why, even though maybe you know very well, I mean, it's efficient to listen again. Anyway, I assume I have the class record, so in case you miss it, you can just there. Excel so difficult. Is it true? Okay, I try to be slow. You want to go home? If you really need to go, then just go. I mean, I don't want to stand in between you and the home. So just go. I mean, I close my eye. Okay. Hopefully it's okay. Oh, people still think it's Friday. Okay. Hopefully, I don't think Friday we have hotel with typhoon again. Cloudy, windy. Yeah, that's fine. That's a good measure. You're still awake. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, 5 people think I'm a little bit fast, but overall it's okay. What's ENGG? English? Engineering? Oh, computer project group full mark. Okay, good. Good for you. I saw her. Okay. So really? Who? I don't know. So I guess they are related somehow. So you guys can meet together after the. So who want to swap, let me know. I mean, but I can't help because marketing. Try. Okay. I don't know. NA. Hopefully it's not the video, not the same video. Oh, I can't really copy. What's that? Let's see. Oh, here. Oh, so this is for those who don't know Chinese is last Thursday because of typhoon. Everyone go home early. Everyone's very happy. So what he said is the page 3. What do you mean by page 3? There's no page 3 here. Oh, this one. Oh, so what he said is he's happy or happy and also happy this typhoon holiday because he said study is his responsibility, but he really hates studying. I understand some of you is like this. I mean, hating study is very normal. I mean, even though I study Ph.D., I study in the academic for a very long time, study all the book is my job. I mean, but one thing that motivates you in B school is money, right? I think everyone likes money, right? So study is one of the easiest way to achieve monetary success, and then one of the easiest. So I hope this kind of motivate you why we are here. And one thing is our class has 4 credits, right? You learn weighted average, so hopefully this gives you some motivation to study. So some people are busy doing the case, I find. I mean, 2 versus 1, I guess you mean the football thing, right? Saudi Arabia versus China. I want to go home again. Okay, so far I think it's okay. So as agreed that no one say no to the shorter break. Okay. So let's continue with a range here. Okay. And then quartile range. Okay. So in Excel, calculate quartile in the current range. You have 2 methods. I said I'll have 7. Excel have at least 2. So quartile, that the quartile EXC exclude and quartile include. I'm not going to explain quartile include. If you want, you can look at the web. It's easy to figure that out. But quartile exclude is the thing that we study in our class. So that actually give us quartile, give you 1.5, quartile exclude. Okay. So that means that if I want to do this in IQR, okay, I would be doing this. Quartile exclude this data to 3. This entry will give us Q3 because it's 3. Okay. So it's a quartile 3. Okay. And then you minus quartile in this data 1. So this one will give us interquartile range. Although we learned the class, that's so complicated operation, and this directly gives you the answer. Okay, it is a formula that directly do the job, right? Of course, in the assignment, I can't check whether you use real calculation or calculator, but you should know how to do it. Okay. Okay. Is that okay? Of course, I will ask you to show the steps so that you are to know you're actually working. So this is the interquartile range, which is 6. Is that clear? I hope it become a little bit more clear how you do the IQR. Okay, the rest will be the variance, right? And the standard deviation and so on and so forth, right? And I'm not going back to the slide. Let's go directly. Variance, dot P, or the population. And we have the variance sample. Sample is divided by that. Okay. So that will be VAR dot P population. And then you have a data there. VRP is the variance. Okay. Divided by N. If you VAR dot S, then you will divide it by S. So let's see if that's okay for you. Okay, variance dot P and variance dot S. Okay. As I said, which one to use depend on the purpose. Okay. But regardless of what, usually they're very similar, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Okay. But you know what to use. I mean, you will know which one to use after the middle of the semester. You know which one to use and when and what and why, right? And here tell you 2 formula here. Okay. So as long as you write clearly what you're doing, as I will do an exam, I will clearly write population variance or sample variance. If I don't write, you should raise your hand, right? Otherwise, it should be very clear which one I'm asking, right? And similarly, when you do your report, you should clearly write down what variance you're working on. You tell me population variance or sample variance, same idea, right? Of course, usually when practiced by default, people talk about sample. If you don't write anything, by default it's sample. But it can be anything, right? But usually we talk about sample. Okay. Is that okay? Now we have the standard deviation. Maybe I just lazy as the population. And S dot D is called sample. Okay. And the formula is very simple. It's STD, EV, standard deviation, population. Right? And you highlight everything there. Okay. And similarly, you can have STD, EVS, okay, dot S, the data. Okay. Now I just so you should be able to work it out by yourself. Excel. I stop a little bit here to go around to see if the question. Make sure you don't have any problem because they are very simple calculation. Because the rest of the semester we do Excel programming is like this style. I just illustrate the formula and you work on it. Right? Of course, in practice, you just change the cell reference, right? You just try to call the function. That's how you do it, right? There's nothing very deep here. Any question, let me know. I hope that is embarrassingly simple, right? But for first class, so I have to be a little bit cautious because I assume there's absolutely no knowledge about computer before. Because when I was undergrad 20 years ago, the first year we have a computer literacy requirement. Everyone have to do Excel class and pass it. Okay, so everyone will have Excel. But I think now they no longer have that, right? So the responsibility lies on me now. So I will go into Excel basics. Okay, is that fine? So we have standard deviation. Okay. Now probably you ask how to do CV, right? Because CV is not here, right? So CV, but CV just what? Standard deviation over mean, right? So let's do that. Coefficient of variation, population, coefficient of variation, sample. How to do that? Remember, just standard deviation over mean, right? So just STD, EV dot P A2 to A7 divided by average of A2 up to A7. Okay, so that will be the CV. Oops. Okay. And if you want the sample version, then ST DEV dot S A2 up to A7 divided by average A2 to A7. Okay. So maybe a little bit. Okay. So hopefully now you can see calculation by Excel is very fast, right? It's not something you can just click and you're done. No matter how big the data is. I think in the old days, when 10 years ago in Excel, number of row is limited to 60,000. Now is as memory, your RAM, how big the RAM is, you can go. So that means that, I mean, for the possible case you use in our class, right, or many business application, that should be not an issue. Of course, when you have a very big data set, then you're not working on Excel anyway. But is that okay or dispersion? If that's okay, then we'll go to skewness and kurtosis. Okay. Shape. Forward. Okay. I'll go this one. The shapes. For the shapes, for the shape, they actually have two functions. Skew P, which is the one I tell you in the class, and the skew S is the not the skew. There's no S. Skew S is skew S. Skew is the sample one. The sample is a very complicated formula. If you right, there's complicated formula there. Okay, but luckily you don't have to worry about it. It's there. Okay, so just give it. Okay, as you expect, right? This is 0. It's positive, right? Because it's a large outlier here. Okay, and you will see the difference between the population and the sample version. Okay, so let's do it. Skewness, population, and skewness, sample. Okay, you will be skew dot P A2 to A7. Okay, remember your data change, this one can change. Okay, it's not just A7. If you have one more row with AA and so on and so forth. Okay, just in case you would. Okay, so in particular cases, of course, your number can be different from me because it will be a little bit different. Is that okay? One thing that I probably want to show you is one very useful technique which I didn't usually teach is you can see I keep moving around, the data is here. So it's good skills is to freeze the screen. I think you can freeze the plane. You can freeze the first column of data here. What I do is I freeze the first column. No, somewhere. You freeze the first column and I move, then it's still there. Okay, so you will keep there. Okay, but unfreeze it. So this is very useful technique. But anyway, and then I have the next one is a curve. Okay, Excel directly gives you the excess kurtosis. It's -3. So all you need is compare to 3 or not compare to 3. Remember the super complicated formula for kurtosis? This gives you. But unfortunately, Excel don't give you the population version. But anyway, you never use it anyway. So this is the one you use. Okay, the curve. So what you have is sample. It will be excess kurtosis sample. Okay, this will be cut. For this one, you have 4, which means that this one have a fat tail. Whenever it's more than 0, it's a fat. Okay, and then you can decide whether 4 is fat enough. Or if negative, then it's thin tail. Is that okay? So we're basically done with one-dimensional data. Is that okay? Now, what left is we would do a 2-dimensional data, which is correlation coefficient and covariance. Okay. Do the data. Maybe 1D data. If I have time, I talk about graph, but otherwise I skip the graph. Okay. So now I have 2D data. I open another column, other spreadsheet, X and Y. Okay. I open another column. You can press this add button to open up a spreadsheet. Okay. Maybe I just need this egg number here. Okay. These are data that I would be working on. Okay. X and Y. I just randomly put some number there. You don't have to. You can put whatever number you like. Okay. Okay. Something like that. Any number would work. Okay. And you don't have to. I just put it 2D. Okay. So what we left is look at the relationship. Okay. The 2 things. One is covariance and correlation coefficient to observation. Okay. So now let us relationship. Okay. And we have covariance, which is the sample population version and covariance of sample. And at the end, we have correlation coefficient. Okay. Now, I just stop a little bit if you still are working on the previous one. But in case you want to create, you can create it first. I stop here a little bit. Make sure that everyone is all right. If any question, do ask me. If you are watching football or watching YouTube or TikTok, don't worry about that. That means that you're very good. Actually, I'm very happy because you know very well, right? If you are, right, don't worry about that. Actually, I'm proud of you, right? By both your bravery and also your skillness, right? Skillfulness, right? It's very skillful. You know you're very smart. You're done, right? It's fine. And you still really respect me by staying in the classroom, right? Because you could have gone, right? But you still really respect me by staying here. So I have respect for you. Okay. But anyway, any question? I just go around. I'm not checking your screen, but just try to see if any question. Okay. So if no, then we continue this one. Okay. Covariance have 2 formula here. Again, the P, there will be simple covariance dot P as expected. Okay. So how we do that? Remember, you have 2 data, then you have input 2 times. So it will be A2 to AA. And you have comma to separate the 2 entry. The second entry is B2 to BA. Okay. Let me make this smaller. Okay. And I put a formula test here so that you can see. what's going on here. Maybe maybe this one is good enough. Okay, so this covariance dot P, A2 to AX is the X, and B2 to BX is Y. Now, so you can still see when you have A2 and B2, then looks a little bit ugly, right? Doesn't seem to be easy, right? So how are you going to solve this problem? Because you want to read, when you have one data set, that's fine. Always A2 to AX, that's fine. But now, the good thing I'm going to teach you is what we call defined names. The same as all the software program with defined variable. Let's call A2 to AX X, A2 to B2 to BX is Y. Then make our formula easier. So let's do it. Your data here, name, okay? So you highlight this A2 to AX and call define name, okay? And X as red mark because they see the X is above, X is already there. So you can put any number there. And also you can change the refers to A to the AA, okay? You can change, right? But this is, okay there, this is called X, okay? And I highlight this B, I define name is called Y, okay? It's already there, refer to where, okay? The scope means that, is it only work for this workbook or this worksheet? Workbook means the bunch of sheet they're doing, okay? So if you want to put a scope like, I just want to use it within this worksheet, then just within this worksheet, okay? Otherwise, Y can be used across different spreadsheets, okay? So you have to define just like the standard idea of the variable is, you learn computer science, local variable or global variable. Whether the X is applied for every single spreadsheet or just specific spreadsheet, okay? If I define the whole workbook means every workbook when I call Y means this, okay? So for our case, because I just have a very simple one, workbook is fine, or you want to confine it to 2D, okay? Usually the standard idea from computer programming is you don't define beyond your scope, right? Because you may have some unintended thing. So usually if you actually use it in this spreadsheet, if I do, I would just, for this case, I would just confine it to this spreadsheet 2D, right? So you want to change a little bit the scope again. I want to, let me delete that again. Let me define it again. I just define this X and I confine it to 2D. Now, what is so good about here is because of now I no longer need to write this. I can just simply say X and I can simply say Y. So my life is easy now. I don't need to remember where this X and Y. I mean, I don't worry about typing a wrong thing. And I remember on my old day when I was an intern for doing Excel, and often people make mistake for the row, right? And there's a famous case, I think 10 years ago, people do research and they figure out that they Excel formula wrong, they got some result. And some people figure, oh, you make some mistake in formula, then everything turns out reverse. Okay, it's a scandal. But anyway. Because if you don't have a consistent formula, if you write name, then you will never commit this mistake, right? Because you never type wrongly or you use the mouse wrongly, okay? So covariance S, X and Y, then we're done, right? Things are very nice now, right? And the last one is C correlation, CORREL, okay? X and Y. Now you can see our sheet is very nice, right? Just in case you want to know this is called the formula text. Okay, formula text is try to show you what is the formula written and that formula, and it's useful for teaching, okay, or useful you want to show your boss how you're going to calculate step by step. Is that okay? If done, then we're done with the Excel functions. We are going to show you one thing much more, is Excel add-in. But before we go to Excel add-in, I go around to see if any questions. Is that okay? Everything's all right? If you have any question, you can just ask me or ask your classmate to make sure that you are in the right spot without any issue. Okay. Okay. Is there any question? If no, then we go to Excel add-in, which is slightly more troublesome stuff. Okay. Add-in is just like an additional program add to Excel to make our life easier. Okay. And you can see we do a lot of calculation, right? And can we automate that? Okay. Excel add-in is the part of the program that can do it. Okay. But to be sure, Excel add-in is very old thing. You become obsolete. But I mean, these functions can still be used. Okay. Because Excel add-in, you can actually write an add-in by say if you know the C or C, you know the C#. I think C# program you can write. It's basically C# behind. But you will see that the NS2 pack is already have a automatic calculation of everything we have just before by simple click. Okay, so that's why I want to show you this one. Okay, the difficult part is not using this, but rather how to have it in your computer. Okay, so let's try to do that. Is go to File. In Macintosh, you can do something similar, but it can be done. Okay, but I just show Windows. Okay, because I don't have Macintosh. File. Okay, let me repeat. File, Options, Add-in. So File, and then go to the bottom is Options. You go to the left-hand side, it's Add-in. And Add-in, once you add in, you said Go. Okay, File, Option, Add-in, and then Go. Let me try to do it again. First step number 1, File. Step number 2, go to the very left-hand bottom corner, Option, and Add-in. Okay, if you use iPad or Macintosh, there's still some way, but you can look it out. There will be some way, because in the past people had no problem with that. Okay, there's no problem. Okay, and Add-in there, then you go to Go. The reason why here is inactive, so go there, activate it. So you see this Add-in. You click this tick, and then OK. Don't worry, you just need to do once, and that's it. Okay, if you use your own computer. Okay, for me, I do all the time. Once you do this, you will see one thing. Go to the data. Analysis will appear here. Okay, this is the one. Okay, data analysis. Okay. Now, when you click this guy, it shows up everything here. Okay. Actually, everything here is basically what we learn for the rest of the semester. Okay, not everything, but most of the thing actually is here. So we will not learn everything there, but we learn most of the important thing is already we will learn. So basically, at the end of the semester, the goal is you know how to operate everything, make sense of all those things we learn. Okay, I think 90% of it. Okay. So to show you how to do it, let me copy this sheet again. I show you the add-in. Okay. I just copy this sheet and then just do it. Okay. how to do it? I have data now. I want to do summary statistics, right? I want to calculate mean, median, mode, whatever, in the quartile range, whatever. Yeah, one click, okay? So what we're going to do is data analysis, go to what we call the descriptive statistics, which is actually the topic we have, right? And click OK. Okay. Once you click OK, then you will give you a Windows bunch of stuff that you have to enter to tell them what you're doing. Okay. So the first entry is input, and the second one is output. Input is where the data, output is where how you want to them express. Okay. Input, not surprisingly, our data is grouped by columns, right? So as long as I just highlight A1 to A8, okay? And then because I've labeled the first row, if you don't have to click it. So I just click that one. Okay. And then you tell them that what you want to export. What I want is summary statistics, right? And then you tell them where you want the output, okay? Either a new worksheet or a range. Usually, I make my life easy. I will just output the range, and I will choose next to it. I click it, and OK. So this is the entry that I'm doing, okay? You can try to do it on your computer if you have your one, okay? I'm not sure Mac would work, but my iPad would work, but Windows would work. Mac would work as well. But Mac, you have to click that one to log out, okay? So once you're done, you click OK. So automatically, you will see how the output give the mean, SD, median, mode. Okay. Standard error is something we will learn in topic 4. So you basically can skip this part. You don't know this yet. Okay. We learned the median, mode, saturation, sample variation, kurtosis, skewness, range, mean, max, sum count. So except the second row, you know everything, right? Of course. The only drawback of doing this is if you change the data, you do it once again, right? Or you don't know whether you do it right or wrong because there's nothing to check. Just because output is just the answer, not the formula. Okay? So that would be the thing. Is that okay? Is that okay? So the next thing I want to show, the last thing I want to show is covariance and correlation. They're the same. I just show one of them because we're very similar. Okay, you can try the correlation. Okay, the covariance is the same idea. Okay, when you put in, you have input and output. Okay, input because the data is by column, right? So I just input range. It's here. Okay, you highlight everything A1 to B.A. and label in the first column. Tell them where to output. Maybe here, just next to it, and click OK. Okay, it'll give you this already. Okay, this is correlation. So covariance. Okay, correlation the same. I just do this. If correlation is here, I click OK. The same thing. Input range is A1 to B8. Okay, and output I want it the label in the first row. Output I choose to be here. Okay, and you're done. Okay, so correlation is this guy. So when you have a large data set and many columns, this is very efficient, right? As I said again, this only gives you output. You can't really check whether do it right or wrong because there's no need, we can't go back to check whether right or wrong. So if you're confident enough, this is so good. But if you're thinking that you're just try to work out things quickly, this is a good thing. But if you thinking you're doing some analysis, it's better do it by hand. The formula that I give you, we've been doing. So that's why I teach you two-way, add in and without adding, that's a formula. All right. And I guess no one will complain if I 1 minute earlier. All right. So I will see you next Monday. I don't know whether Friday or holiday, but wish you a happy weekend. See you next time. I will stay around to answer the question you may have.